Are you a fan of the Dragon Ball Super card game? If so, check out QueenCityGaming.com for sealed product, singles, and more. Just use promo code MafubaJar-10 to save 10% off your order every time.
Welcome back to the Mafuba Jar. We've been sitting waiting for another awesome video. And today, everybody, we have just gotten a whole bunch of set 7 cards revealed to us. It's going to be all the red and green cards, and that does include all the multi-red green cards. So, lots and lots of stuff here to see. I did kind of look at this morning, but that was like literally 4 a.m. this morning when I had to go in for my opening shift. So, I don't think I'm going to remember every single thing I saw off the top of my head like that. So, there'll still be a little bit of shock value for me here. But this leader right here is where we're going to start off. A brand new Gohan leader. It's going to be a red leader, and he's a doozy. So his activate means once per turn, burst 2. Bursting's iffy, but burst 2 isn't so bad. You choose one card in your life, add it to your hand, and if your opponent has 5 or more life, you deal 1 damage to your opponent. So you take a life, and your opponent automatically takes a life in the beginning stages of the game, which that's pretty dang good. Like, just to mill 2 and take a life, you're just inflicting damage on your opponent. Like, that's really insane right there. So that's the only skill on his awakened side. He's a draw 2 when he awakens. And his awakened side, I love the artwork on it. It's Gohan and Goten, Kamehameha, and yes, the character name on the card does count for both Gohan and Goten. Lots more effects on the awakened side here. So Otto's a sparking 5 when he attacks, draw a card. I kind of wanted maybe a little bit more there, but that's okay because there's a lot more effects. And the other auto he has here is when one of your battle cards activates Alliance, you choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with 30,000 power or less and KO it. Not too bad. We're getting a lot more Alliance cards in this set than we do have now, so that could work out very well. And the activate me here is a once per turn, sparking 5. Choose 3 cards in your hand and place them in a drop area. You choose all of your red and green battle cards. Then both the chosen cards and this card gain 10,000 power for the duration of the turn. So, that seems a little bit steep, pitching 3 cards. But if you have the field just completely swarmed with the red and green battle cards, then I guess it could make up for it. It's definitely an interesting leader. I'm not going to give any thumbs up or thumbs down until we get everything for the set and once we actually have the cards in our hands, because you never know. And there are going to be a lot of duplicates here, because they also do reveal the designs with the Set 7 pre-release little stamp right there. So we're going to be going through a lot of duplicates here. And next up, guys, we have a brand new Broly leader. Now, it is a red leader, but this is like old school Broly. And this one is also a very interesting one, especially on his unawakened side. He has critical permanently. Now, we've had a few leaders, I believe. Yeah, we've had a couple leaders that can gain critical, but this one on his awakened side just has it. So, especially for a red leader, that's really amazing. And the auto is when you... Forgive me for that. When this card is placed in your leader area, you choose up to 1 dormant legend from your deck and activate it. That, I believe, is a field card. So you basically played his deck with 49 cards, which is not bad. And this guy awakens here at a 4 life, draw 1, and then retap an energy. To Broly Recurring Nightmare. Not too much to say on this one. We attack, draw a card, of course. And you activate battles, you choose 1 card in your hand, place it in a drop area. You choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards when 10,000 power or less and KO it. That one's iffy for me, because it's such a low thing. I will say it is nice that it's an activate battle, so you can do it when your opponent's attacking as well. So that much positive, I will give it. But I don't know, with this leader, I'm far more impressed with the unawakened side. Like, this right here, I'm already really sold on it. Just to have a 10k critical immediately, constantly. So that's really, really good right there. As I said, the awakened side's not bad. It's just not much to it. So definitely not a bad leader overall. As I said, I know I'm going to be a broken record here, but the unawakened side right here, that's got me sold on this Broly right here. Which, that doesn't happen very often, so definitely like that. And again, to repeat, yes, finally we're getting a whole bunch of Raditz cards here too. And this is going to be the first one right here. So, he's a 1-drop. When you play him, draw a card. And when your opponent switches energy to active mode using anything that's not awakened during their turn, You pick one of their energy and place it in an owner's drop area. So we're finally getting a Borgo/Whis, but in red form. And we do also get another one for green as well. I mean, let me rephrase that. We've kind of already had one for red with the Veku promo, but it was a little bit weird. Like, this is the exact same as all the other ones now, so it's nice to have a little bit more of a generic one. So that's definitely really, really cool. And next up here we have Son Goku Heavenly Salvation. He's a 3-drop, and his auto is activate this skill when you play Son Gohan, Son Goten Familial Bonds in your battle area. If this card is not in play your battle area, you get to play from your hand. So essentially you don't have to worry about that 3 cost. And the other auto is once per turn, when this card is switched to rest mode by alliance, if you only have Goku, Gohan Adolescents, Goten, and or Trunks Youth cards in play in your battle area, choose this card and up to one of your battle cards and switch them to active mode. Very nice. Very nice. Definitely helps with the alliance combos here a lot, which we're getting a lot of in this set. Alright, next up here is Mach Speed Kaio-ken Son Goku. I love this art right here, taking us all the way back to the Saiyan Saga days. So counterplay, play that guy, and the permanent is if a multicolored card is in your energy, reduce this by 1. So he's a 2-drop counterplay. And the auto is when you play this card, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and it gets minus 10,000 power for the duration of the turn. Then if it's your opponent's turn, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and it gains 5,000 power for the duration of the turn. So you could spread that during your opponent's turn, or you could just have one battle card lose 15k and make it go to the drop. So not a bad card. I don't want to say it's completely generic, because you do have to have a multicolor to be played for a reasonable amount. But there are a lot of decks that can use the multicolored stuff, because some of it is kind of generic, especially with what we got from the Unity of Sands. It's a little bit generic, so I'd say it's a 50-50 on the generic thing. Definitely a great card, though, don't get me wrong. It's just how generic it is a little bit debatable. Alright, and we did get super rares revealed as well, which I was actually a little bit shocked about. I did not think we'd be getting super rares revealed this early. So the first one here that we're going to be seeing is going to be the Dependable Brother Son Gohan. So 4-drop, EX Evolve, 1 red and 1 anything on top of Gohan with a 3 cost. He's got a double strike, and the auto is when a card evolves in his card, draw 2 cards, and there are no other cards in play in your battle area. Choose up to 1 green Son Goten and 1 green Trunks Youth with energy costs of 4 from your drop area and play them. So he's definitely a nice way to fill up your field a little bit. Not to mention, drawing 2 and a double strike, that's definitely okay in my book. It's going to be kind of like with the whole strategy with the Goku and your leader Gohan here. So it's all going to be working with that. But so far I am liking some of those cards to go with this. Alright, next up here is the Helping Hand Son Gohan. This will be what you play into most likely. And he is also a counter, but not a counter play, he's a counter attack, 3-drop. And his permanent is during your opponent's turn, if Goten and Trunks are in play in your battle area, you reduce the cost of this card by 2. So he's a 1-drop counter to negate an attack. So, not too bad, not too bad. But if you don't have either one of those, he's a 3-drop counter to play card, which, again, if you're like grasping for straws here to trying to stop an attack, it's not a bad card. But overall, that's all it really is, just a counter. Not to mention, it's a potential 1-drop way to go ahead and go straight into this guy next turn. So, not a bad card overall. And next up here, we have Wilderness Training Son Gohan. I'm kind of iffy on the art. Like, I like that it's old style, like back then. But I don't know, it almost looks like it doesn't really match too well with the art styles that we normally see in DBS nowadays. But that's all there is to it. So he's a 1-drop. When you play this card, draw 1 card. This is actually a little bit more of a big deal than you might immediately think, because Red has never really had this before. Like, I know we kind of have it in the Raditz, to where it also kind of stuns Senzu-beans a little bit, but almost every color has had a 1-drop color of something that just draws you a card. Red's never really had that till right now, so that's really, really cool to see. And I don't hate the fact that it's Kid Gohan from back during training with Piccolo days. As I said, I don't hate the art, I just almost kind of feel it doesn't fit with the Dragon Ball Super card game kind of artwork that we see now. But that's just my opinion. Not a bad card though, nothing bad to say about it. Alright, now we get into some of the Goten and Trunks cards here. Exalted Trio Sun Goten, 2-drop. Permanent is only one Exalted Trio Sun Goten can be played in your battle area. And if you have a Videl card in play in your battle area, it reduces cost in your hand by 1. So that's actually very easy to pull off because we do have a free Videl blocker in the game if your leader's a Gohan Adolescence, which the top leader is, so you can almost always play this guy from 1. That's not going to be a big deal whatsoever. Auto is if when this card attacks, there's a Trunks Youth and you're playing your battle area, this card gains 5,000 and double strike for the duration of the turn. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. And, oh, I thought we were going to see the Trunks duo here, but not quite yet. It's going to be Last Resort Vegeta next. So 3-drop with Deflect. Iffy, because we got Mutai Ito in the game now, but still pretty cool overall. And the auto is when you play this card from your hand and your leader card is a Raditz card. You may choose one card in your hand and place it in your drop area. If you do, choose up to one Power Ball from your deck, activate it, then shuffle your deck. So yes, there is a green-red strategy with Raditz and all the old Sands there as well, which I will happily get into hype mode over that when I see it, because after seeing so many other like Raditz cards we've seen, I was really happy this morning. I don't remember the details of what every single one of them do, but I remember being extremely hyped this morning, and it jolted me, getting me ready for my opening shift. So let's skip the... Okay, here we go with the Trunks. And it's the exact same permanent. You can only have one in this, and if you have a Videl, you reduce it by 1. Which, again, you'll probably be playing this with the Red Gohan leader, so that's not going to be any problem. And the auto is the same as the Goten, except it gains 5k and critical for the duration of the turn. Very similar to the World Martial Arts ones that we received back from that set. Except these are cheaper and potential 1-drops as well. So, definitely better. Even if it didn't have that, they would still be better versions. Just because you don't have to pay 3 energy to pay them out. But still, the potential of paying 1, they're definitely far better versions of the ones we got from World Tournaments. And just not too bad overall. Like, definitely helps you spam the field quickly with double strikers and crits. And definitely get to where you need to go with that deck. Alright, so there's the stamped version. We have Father Figure Piccolo. I actually didn't pay too much attention to that name this morning, but oh my god. Talk about basically calling Goku out, am I right? Alright, so he's a 1-drop. Auto, when you play this card, you look at the top 7, choose up to 1 Sun Gohan Youth. When an energy cost of 2 or less among them, add it to your hand, then shuffle the deck. Not too bad, actually. Especially considering it has any Sun Gohan Youth. Like, it doesn't have to be specifically the red ones, because we do have a few Goku's lineage ones as well. I'm not saying that you would play with that. I'm just saying it's a possible way to search as well. So there's quite a few cards this can search, which I do think that's pretty cool. They actually put the Krillin dressed up as Piccolo from the second Broly movie. Now this one I completely forgot about. See, I told you guys I wasn't going to remember every single card here. And this is going to be the new red super common we get for this set. It's going to be the included 10,000, which I like. If your leader is 4 or less, you draw a card. I swear, I might put this in every red deck just because of how hilarious it is. Like, I kid you not. I remember as a kid watching that Broly movie, seeing Krillin dressed up as Piccolo. I lost my mind over that. Like, I thought that was the funniest thing ever. And there we go. Of course, have the stamp version, which I actually might be tempted to pick up some of the stamp versions of this one. Alright, so we have Exalted Trio Videl. We do have our own Videl in this set. She's a 1-drop. And when you play this card, look at your top 3. Choose up to 1 red or green Gohan, Goten, or Trunks among them. Add to your hand. Then you place the cards at the bottom of your deck in any order. That's actually a very interesting Videl as well, because of the fact that it's red or green. And even though like the Gohan, Goten, and Trunks cards in this set are going to be red and green based, we already have so many of those cards that are red or green. So this searches a lot of cards. Like, even though it's only the top 3, this searches such a wide variety. Miraculous Comeback Gohan. This can search that because it is a red Son Gohan Adolescence. So, just an example there. So that's very, very interesting. Indeed. This is definitely going to be seeing some play in some of those decks. I mean, of course it's going to be seeing play in that kind of themed deck with the Gohan, Goten, Trunks, Videl with that whole second Broly movie. But I could see quite a number of decks playing this card as well, just to be able to search those cards. And next up here we have Coco Village Princess. I almost didn't remember this at first, but I was like, oh yeah, there was kind of a village there in the second Broly movie. So choose a 1-drop, activate manage, choose 1 card in your hand, place it in a drop area, and you get to draw 1 card. Forgive that noise, guys, that is my dog in the background. Sonic! Sorry about that, guys, little dog there just wouldn't stop digging through stuff, so had to stop that quickly. Alright, now we are at the Coco's Grandpa card, which I was just like, what? But it is based on the second Broly movie, so it kind of makes sense. So he's a 2-drop. And the auto is when you play this card, choose up to 1 Coco Village Princess from your deck, add to your hand, and shuffle your deck. So it's basically just a 2-drop way of searching this. This one I don't like very much. This one can be not so bad, because if you manage to keep this one on the field, you could pitch a card or draw a card every single turn. So that's not too bad, but I definitely would not be playing this if you guys do decide to play the Coco. And now we have the Elder Village Guardian. He is also a 2-drop and quite a lengthy effect. His auto is when you combo with this card and your leader is red, you may choose 1 card from your hand, place it in your drop area. If you do, choose 1. You can either choose up to 3 battle cards with an energy cost of 3 or more and a power of 35,000 or less in your drop area. Place them at the bottom of your deck in any order. So it's actually pretty interesting right there. Choose 1 battle card in your opponent's drop area, return to your opponent's deck, then your opponent shuffles the deck. I guess there's like maybe very few situations where you would do the second one, but it's mainly going to be the first one here. Especially against Janema Mill. This is actually a pretty solid card against Mill decks out there, so... Elder Guardian, well, Elder Village Guardian. I like that guy. I like him. And we also have Natade Village Monster. He's just a 2-drop vanilla, 20k power. Nothing else to say about him. And we have the Shaman Ritual Master. This guy I remember very much. It's a 2-drop. When you play his card, draw a card. And his other auto is, when a card in your opponent's life is placed in their drop area, you may place this card in its owner's drop area. If you do, choose up to 1 red Natade Village Monster with an energy cost of 2 or less from your deck and play it. Then you get to shuffle your deck. This kind of works with the new red leader Broly that has critical on Unawakened side. You could play this if you want. I personally don't think I'm going to be playing that combo, but it's something you can do if you do decide to. And we have another super right here, Broly Counter Reversal. Now, I love this artwork right here. Like, this art here is just awesome. And it's a pretty awesome card too. Its permanent is, during your turn, this card gains 5,000 power and can attack battle cards that are in active mode. So pretty cool right there. Auto is once per turn, when your opponent activates a counter skill, deal 1 damage to them. So that right there, that's really, really cool. Because it definitely stops the Frieza's army stuff, stops anything that wants to play, well, it doesn't stop them, but it hurts them. It hurts Frieza's army, it hurts the decks that play the Mutai Ito, just hurts so many things. As I said, I really like this artwork on the card. Overall, I like the card. I kind of wish it wasn't a 4-drop, because as we all know, that's kind of lengthy to get out, but I don't hate this card. I don't hate this card whatsoever. Alright, now into some of the extra cards here. We've got Familial Bonds. His permanent is, this card gains desire in all areas. And activate manage, if your leader card is red, choose up to 1 red sand card in your drop area with an energy cost of 3 or less and 15,000 power or less and play it. If you play a card, choose up to 2 Dragon Balls from your deck and add them to your hand, then shuffle your deck. So this is pretty good for red dragon, like red Shenron decks, because I believe the only one we have is the Pilaf and Oolong one at the moment. Watch me like completely miss one and just everyone hating on me for it, but I think that's the only one at the moment. But still, that's still pretty cool. And yeah. Oh no, your leader hat does have to be red. Never mind. I was gonna say it's a good way to search Dragon Balls in other decks, but it's only for red, so I guess it's okay. It boosts up that deck a little bit, but this is mainly, of course, for the Gohan Goten deck, which that means I guess you could play some Dragon Ball cards in that deck as well. That'd actually be pretty dang interesting to see, because it can search Dragon Balls. Who knows? You might even put some 4-star balls in there. Never know. Definitely is an interesting idea indeed. Alright, so now for Dormant Legend. This is the one that you get to play straight from your deck with the new Broly leader. It's a field card, and its permanent is that you can't place cards under this card except with this card's skill. And the auto is when a card in your life is added to your hand or placed in your drop area during your opponent's turn, place the top card of your deck under this card. So, it's nice that they include regular damage and critical damage, which I do like that. Now the activate main is, if there are 3 or more cards under this card, place this card in your drop area, choose up to 1 red Broly with an energy cost of 4 from your deck and play it, then shuffle your deck. So, even though I was saying I don't like the fact that other Broly was a 4-drop, was the only thing I didn't like, this card right here is going to get out for no energy cost, especially if you play the Broly leader, because you can just play it for free with its auto skill when you start the game. So, I do like this strategy a lot. I will say, I like this old school stuff, this old school Broly stuff, way more than the stuff we got in Galactic Battle. Like, I didn't hate the stuff from Galactic Battle, but I already like this stuff a million times more. So, definitely really happy about this. And we have some new counters as well. Denial of Hope. I do love the artwork on this one. There's actually a couple of cards here, just on this list alone, that artwork I absolutely love. And this is one of them. So the 2-drop counterplay. If your leader card is red, if the battle card your opponent is playing has 20,000 or less power, it's placed in the owner's drop area instead of being played. So it's essentially a red version of Preemptive Strike, which is amazing. But instead of being a 4-drop or less, it is limited to 20,000 power or less, which, depending on what you're facing, can either be better or worse. Nonetheless, though, I'm really happy that red's getting its own version of a Preemptive Strike. Really, really like that. This is another one where I might actually try to pick up the series pre-release stamp there. And another card we have here is the Final Guardian. I kind of like this art too. I would have preferred it a little bit better if Gohan was Super Saiyan here, but other than that, I do like the artwork on this card. So it's a 1-drop counter. If your leader card is red, negate the attack, then choose up to one of your battle cards, and it gains 5,000 power for the duration in a turn. So it's almost like an Unending Awakening, except it's a little more generic, which I like a lot. And a permanent this card has that if this card is in your drop area, you can activate it by paying its energy cost and removing it, and 1 red card in your hand from the game. Now, there's also going to be another negate that has this. So it makes me wonder if all the new colored negates that we're getting in set 7 are going to have that permanent. Instead of being able to play it for free, you get to play it again from your drop area, which I do like that idea a lot. 1 negate is essentially 2 negates, which, again, I do like that. And the auto is when you activate this card, you can't activate the Final Guardian for the duration of a turn. Okay. So it prevents you from doing this twice in 1 turn from your opponents, which, that's a little unfortunate, but I kind of understand why. Kinda. Would have been really handy against the green Broly movie cards, but oh well. What are you gonna do? Yes! Now we get to talk about the green stuff, specifically the Raditz stuff. Guys, like I mentioned in my Set 7 pre-release video, not pre-release, my Set 7 reveal video, I had been waiting for Raditz cards for such a long time, and we're finally getting them. Alright, so this is the unawakened side of the Raditz leader. This is one we haven't seen yet. If you guys watched the Set 7 lead cards thing, we have seen the awakened side, but not the unawakened yet. And there's a lot to his unawakened side here, too. So the auto is when this card attacks a leader card, your opponent chooses 1 card from their hand and sends it to the warp. The activate main here is once per turn, you look up to the top 5 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 red or green, Raditz, Vegeta, or Nappa among them, add it to your hand and shuffle your deck. And if you added a card to your hand, choose 1 card from your hand and place it in your drop area. Okay, that's fair. And he awakens by drawing a card and tapping 1 energy. So first of all, that auto right there, this is already a much better version than the Broly leader that we got from set 1. Like, To me, this is already a so much better version. Not that I'm hating on the old school Broly leaders. The black Broly leader I think is perfectly fine. It's just the green Broly leader, I feel like, especially in this current game, just has too many problems with it to make it work. So, I'm really glad we have a much updated version, and that it's in Raditz of everybody. So I think that's really cool. And again, even though I did already show you guys the Unawakened side of the previous video, for those of you who haven't seen it, I'll go over it quickly. Auto is when the card attacks a leader, your opponent chooses one card from your hand, sends it to the warp, so he does not draw when he attacks, which you don't see that too often. And his activation is once per turn, choose up to one red or green sand card in your battle area and gains 5 dots power for the duration of a turn. So that's a pretty generic 5k boost there. So, and you don't even have to pitch anything for it too. You just automatically choose one, boo, it gets 5k boost. I really like this. I really like this leader a lot. So, there's going to be any decks that I play when it comes to set 7. So far, Raditz is the #1 deck so far. But the red Broly is coming up to be kind of a close second for me so far. Because I just really like these two leaders. And this is one that I'm going to try to get the set 7 release. Like, that's not even a might. Like, I'm going to try to get that stand promo of this card here. And we do also have another new Goku leader, because let me ask you again, what is a DBS set without another Goku leader? Just once I would like a set without any Goku leader whatsoever, though I'm pretty sure that will never happen. So, the leader here is Auto is when it attacks a leader card, when his card attacks a leader card, draw one card. And his awakened size, at 4 life, you draw one and restand one. So, bunch of generic leader card here. And we have, I will admit, I like this art a lot. Kaio-ken Goku training complete. Its permanent is you can't send cards from drop areas to warps. So there goes Overrun strategy, which, But we've seen that before in the Majin Buu, so it's nothing too new. So he has a few autos. First one is when his card attacks, draw a card. And the second auto is a burst 7. When your opponent attacks with a card, negate that attack, then negate the skill for the duration of the turn. I don't have a problem with leaders that can negate attacks by themselves by pitching or even bursting a few cards. 7's way too much. I'm sorry, but 7 is way too many to be bursting to negate an attack. I can understand a burst 3, or even at the most a burst 4. Like, something like that I can understand, but a burst 7, that's way too much. Unless they do severe hitting to mill decks out there, that is way too much. And the activate main once per turn, when your life is at 1, choose all of your opponent's battle cards with blocker and KO them. So it's interesting. It's an interesting way to get rid of blockers that are out there, which blockers do still see play from time to time, but a lot of them do have barrier, so that is a downside to it. But not all blockers have barrier, so it can be useful for that. Yes, I love this card right here. I'll be honest with you guys, I don't fully remember what this does. I just remember loving the artwork on it. So Raditz, Sand in Arms. That's a very beautiful super rare right there. So 1 drop. When you play this card, you get to draw a card. And his activate main is a red and a green. Place this card in its owner's drop area. If your leader card is a green sand, choose up to 1 Vegeta and 1 Nappa with energy cost of 2 or less and 10,000 power from your deck. Send them to your warp, then shuffle your deck. At the start of your next main phase, you get to play all cards sent to the warp by this skill in your battle area. So, really cool way to turbo out some of the Vegeta and Nappa cards that we are going to be getting here. I kind of get, but at the same time, I'm 50-50 on the fact, and I swear that was not meant to be a pun, on the whole red-green requirements. Like, I get it, because the Raditz decks could revolve around red-green cards, plus, of course, the multicolor ones. So I get why they do that, but I don't know. To me, personally, it just seems a little weird to have that as a requirement. But, as I said, it is understandable why they did it like that. Alright, so our next Raditz card here is going to be Raditz, Saiyan Assault. So 4 drop, So a little high, but when you play this card, choose up to 2 of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost of 3 or less, KO them. Then your opponent chooses cards from their hand equal to the number of cards you KO'd with a skill and sends them to their warp. So Raditz is a severe hand destruction deck, which I like a lot. As I said, he's a much better version of the Broly that we got in set 1. I don't know if the Raditz will replace the Android hand destruction. People are definitely going to be trying it out at first, but as far as replacing Android hand destruction, I don't know. That one I can't say for sure, but I will say that this is definitely a very interesting idea that people will be messing with, including myself. As I said, this is so far the #1 deck I'm going to be building once we get set 7. Scroll down past that, and we've got Unlikely Duo Goku here with Piccolo in the background. 3-drop, and the autos, when you play this card, you look at your top 7 cards from the top of your deck, choose up to 1 Earthling or Namekian card among them, add it to your hand, and shuffle your deck. I don't like the fact that it's a 3-drop. Personally, a 3-drop is way too much for that auto. I'd be a little more understanding if it was a 2-drop, and it was less power, but 3-drop, To me personally, that's way too much energy. Alright, next up here we have Gohan, Hope for the People. So we are going to be getting red and green cards here to be with the second Broly movie as well. So it's a 3-drop. This permanent is only one of this card can be in your battle area, and if there's at least 1 Goten, Trunks, and Videl in your drop area, you reduce this cost by 2. So it's essentially a 1-drop 15k. So, not the worst. Not the worst. Alright, next up here we have another Gohan card, Momentary Awakening. Man, remember that scene where he just like completely headbutting the Raditz's chest and just almost took him down? Like, as a kid, we were all like, what? I'm sorry, guys. The Sand Saga has a lot of nostalgia for me, so that's why I'm a little bit hyped about it. So it's a 1-drop. Auto is when you play this card, you look at your top 7 for the top of your deck, choose up to 1 green Sun Goku among them, and add it to your hand. So this is a very interesting card, because before, we've only ever had a way of a top 7 to search for blue Sun Gokus with the kind sand. Now we have a Gohan that can search green Gokus out there, which there's quite a lot of green Gokus out there. Especially if you go with the it was a 5-drop that we got from Clash of Fates that can search it. So really, really cool. I definitely like this Gohan a lot. Alright, now next up here we have Sun Goten out adventuring. It's an EX evolve on top of a red Sun Goten with an energy cost of 2. So basically you tap 1 red energy as a Videl, play that, and then you get to play this one immediately. So I like this. I like where this is going a lot. And the auto is when a card evolves into this card and your leader card is a Sun Gohan Adolescence, draw 1 card, switch this card to active mode, then choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost of 4 or less and KO it. So you get to tap the 1 energy for the Goten, you get to play it for 1, attack, EX evolve, and with the Gohan as your leader, put him back into active mode, and then pop a card on top of that. So I really do like this strategy a lot. Maybe I wasn't giving the red Gohan enough credit when I was talking about the decks I would play. Maybe I'll give it a little bit more of a consideration. Alright, next up here we have Great Ape Vegeta, Energy Manipulation. It's a 6-drop. Oi. And his activate main is if there is a Power Ball in your battle area and Great Ape Vegeta Energy Manipulation is not in play in your battle area, you get to play this card on top of Vegeta with an energy cost of 3. So at the very least, we don't have to pay 6 energy to play this guy. So definitely good there. And he's got 2 autos. First one being when you play this card until the end of your opponent's next turn, this card can't be KO'd by skills or battles or be removed from the battle area by skills. So he becomes essentially an indestructible until the end of your opponent's next turn. So that's pretty interesting right there. And the other auto is when this card is placed in a drop area from a battle area by a skill, you may choose 1 red card and 1 green card in your energy, switch them to rest mode. If you do, choose up to 1 Vegeta card that is both red and green in your drop area with an energy cost of 6 and play it. So definitely an interesting skill right there. And it says place in battle area by skill, so it can either be your opponent's or your own skill. So I'm glad they didn't put the whole opponent's skill restriction there. Alright, and we also have Vegeta the Cruel. Again, I did go over this in the spoilerless, but I'll go over it again for those who didn't see it. It's a counterplay, and the permanent is if there's a multicolored card in your energy, you reduce it by 1. This is going to be the 3-drop, by the way, that you would go into with this. And the auto is when you play this card during your opponent's turn, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost of 4 or less, KO it, then your opponent chooses one card in their hand, send it to the warp. So it kind of helps out with the Raditz strategy a little bit, and also, again, it does also help out with this here a bit. But there are other 3-drop Vegetas that you can play this on top of as well, so don't think that you're limited to this. There's so many other options you have as far as Vegetas go. Alright, next up we have the Trunks out adventuring. He has Blocker and EX Evolve on top of a red Trunks with 2 or less. Has Revenge. Now Revenge is not a skill we have not seen Revenge in quite some time. And what Revenge is, for those of you who are too new to the game to know that, at the end of a battle when this card is KO'd by the battle, you get to knock out the attacking battle card on your opponent's side. So it's basically an eye for an eye, double-edged sword, yada yada. And the auto is when a card evolves into this card and your leader card is a Son Gohan Adolescence, draw one card and switch it to active mode. So very similar to the Goten, which again I do like a lot. Alrighty, here we also have a Piccolo super rare. 4-drop Special Beam Cannon Unleashed. His permanent is if you have a green Goku with 20,000 power or less in your battle area, and this card is not in play in your battle area, you get to play this card from your hand without paying its energy costs. So I like that. I like that you're able to pay this for free, because 4 is a lot of energy, especially in this current meta. The activate main is a once per turn, choose one Son Goku card with a power of 20,000 or more in the battle area. Place in its owner's drop area, then you get to pick one of these. You can either choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with the cost of 2 or less, ignoring barrier, and KO it. And if you KO a card, your opponent just chooses to do 2 cards from their hand and place it in the drop area. Or you can knock out just any one of their battle cards, but it doesn't ignore barrier. So it's definitely a nice spot removal for green decks out there. So not a bad card. And we've got a 1-drop 10k Vanilla Krillin. Nothing more to say there. We've got Kamehameha Blast Yamcha as a super combo. It's going to be a new super combo for green. If your life's at 4 or less, you draw a card. But honestly, at the moment, for green, almost nothing can really replace the Paragus we have right now. Like, the Paragus is just too good. I mean, it was a nice try, I guess, but at this very time and moment, nothing for green is going to be replacing that Paragus. Alright, next up here we have Sorrowful Strike 10 Shinhan. She's a 2-drop. Autos, when you combo with this card and your leader is green, you may choose one card from your hand, place it in a drop area, and choose one. Choose up to 3 battle cards with an energy cost of 3 or more and 35,000 power or less in your drop area. Place them at the bottom of your deck in any order. Or you get to choose one card in your opponent's drop area with shuffling back into the deck. So yeah, and all that good stuff. So it's a green version of that Elder that we had earlier. So I do like the fact that we're finally getting ways to like deal with Mill, because up until we get this stuff, we really don't have a whole lot of ways of dealing with Mill, other than just killing them quickly. Which the only real deck that can do that on a constant basis is going to be the Green Broly movie stuff. Other than that, no other deck out there can do it consistently. Of course, any deck can do it, just not as often as the Broly one can. Alright. Chaozu, Desperate Measures. Feels like coming back, man. So 1-drop, activate main, place this card in your owner's drop area, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost of 2 or less, and KO it. So, not too bad. Not terrible. Yajirobe, Lying in Wait. It's a 2-drop. Otherwise, when you play this card, choose up to one Vegeta card in your energy with an energy cost of 6 or less in a battle area and place it in its owner's drop area. So essentially, this is going to be the card you play with your own skill to get that 8-bit and drop area to play that multicolored Vegeta. So, not too bad. Urgent Aid Kami. I like the fact that we're getting more Kami cards. 1-drop green. We play him, draw a card. And basically, if your opponent restands the energy on their turn that's not awakened, they lose an energy. So we're getting a green version as well. So that covers everything now except for black, which at this rate, I'm pretty sure we're going to be getting a black version, which is going to be really cool. And now we have Nappa the Cultivator. This is actually, we're going to actually be getting some pretty interesting stuff here. So he's a 2-drop, activate maze, you choose one card in your hand, place it in your drop area, choose up to one Cyberman card from your deck, play it, then shuffle your deck. That's not a once per turn, so you can constantly be pitching cards to play the Cyberman. Of course, pitching cards is very risky, but at the very least, as I said, it's not once per turn, so you do kind of make up for it by spamming the field. And Cyberman, Endless Explosions. Poor Yamcha. Now, this is where this stuff gets very interesting. Now, this is a 1-drop blocker, and the permanent is you can include as many copies of this card in your deck as you like. So this breaks the rule of 4, just like the Meta Cooler stuff that we got in set 4. This is actually the first time we're getting a card like that since the Meta Cooler stuff, all the way back in set 2. And the auto is when this card is KO, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards to end cost of 1 or less and KO it. So that auto can kind of come in handy sometimes, but mainly you want it for the fact that not only is it a blocker, you could play as many as you want in the deck, and you can get as many as your hand will allow with Nappa. So it is a good way to spam the field with blockers. Definitely very interesting. I am looking forward to see if this will make any meta relevance or not. And next up here we have Super Saiyan Broly Legend Unleashed. It's a 3-drop here. Activate means if your opponent has 3 or more energy, choose one dormant legend in your battle area, place in the owner's drop area, then you get to play this from your hand. So if you get rid of your dormant legend, you play this for free. Not sure how I feel about that because dormant legend is so good. And the other is when you play this card for the duration of a turn, if your leader card is a red Broly, you can activate its awakened skill even if you have 5 or more life. It's interesting, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, since that's a red leader, especially, I severely doubt you're going to have any problem awakening yourself at 4. So, I don't know how I feel about this card. I want to like it. I do want to like this card, but I'm just so iffy on it. And Double Sunday! I am so glad that they put this in here. So he's on 1-drop, and of course he works with Raditz. That's your leader. Gains 15k power for the duration of battle. Then choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with an end cost of 2 or less and KO it. So I really when it comes to these kind of 1-drops, I don't like them on battle cards that could pop a 2-drop or less, but I do like them on the extra cards. Call me weird, I don't know why, I just really like them on these. Especially because of the fact that you gain the 15 as well. And I really like that the 15 you gain on either turn. Because there's some of these, you can only gain certain things on your turn. But this is just an activate battle period. So if you activate this during either turn, you still get the full effect. And yes, I'm going to be getting the set 7 pre-release. I don't think I need to say that anymore. Because we already know by now, I like the red stuff. And now we have Powerball. It's a 3-drop field. I don't know how I feel about that already. Even though we have ways to play it, still. The auto is when this card is placed in a battle area, choose up to one green Great Ape from your deck, add it to your hand, and shuffle your deck. The activate means you switch this card to rest mode, choose up to one of your red or green sand in your battle area, it gains 5,000 power for the duration of the turn. So, even though we do have a way to play this for less than 3, we still have to spend at least 2 energy to play it. I'm iffy about this one. I know it's a center strategy to a lot of things, but still, that just seems like it's such a hefty cost. Alright, next up here we have Hidden Powerless Saiyans. It's a counterplay card. If your leader card is green, your opponent may place the battle card that they're playing in its owner's drop area instead of playing it. If they didn't, your opponent chooses 2 cards in hand and places them in the drop area. So I really like this a lot. So it gives your opponent 2 bad decisions. Either you keep the card, pitch 2 cards, or you lose that battle card. And this one's not limited on power or energy cost either. So if they bring out a really big guy that doesn't have deflect, they could still potentially lose it if they choose not to pitch the 2 cards. So, and with how the Raditz works, your opponent's not going to have many cards to work with as it is. So they may have to get rid of that big card that they have if it doesn't have deflect. So this card I like a lot. I'm iffy on the whole Powerball thing, but this definitely has my seal of approval. For the greater good. And this is where things start taking a plummet for me. For those of you who are wondering why I'm so hyped about the Raditz stuff, Raditz is not like my #1 favorite character, and he's like one of my favorites, definitely. But my biggest thing with Raditz is that, like, when it comes to anime characters with wasted potential in a series, you don't get much more wasted in Raditz. It's like, he had endless potential for Dragon Ball, but it was just all, it basically all died with him with that special beam cannon. So that's why I'm like, yes, give Raditz more love. So it is a counterattack, and if your opponent, and when you play, you choose up to an opponent's battle cards and cost of 1 and KO it. And its permanent is the same as the red 1-drop counter we saw earlier. You get to play it from your drop area by sending that and 1 green card away from the game by paying its energy cost, and the auto prevents you from playing more than 1 of this a turn. So again, it makes sense with the whole permanent. Alright, it's Kaio-ken Son Goku, Defender of Earth. Now, this card is already getting a lot of hype. Like, people are saying this is probably one of the most broken cards that we've ever gotten. Just let me read it first. So he's a 7-drop with Deflect and Energy Exhaust. And his permanent is if there are 20 or more red or green cards in your drop area, reduce the energy cost in his card in your hand by 2. So he becomes a 5-drop. Not as bad as a 7, but that's still a lot. Auto is when your life reaches 1 for the duration of the turn, this card gains triple strike and dual attack and can't be KO'd by your opponent's skills. His activate main is choose 1 card of your life, add it to your hand. Your opponent reveals their hand, you choose up to 1 card from a place in a drop area, and this card gains 25 power for the duration of the turn. That's not a once per turn. You can just keep taking life, keep adding 25k power, and keep making your opponent pitch cards. Not to mention it's a Deflect, multicolored to put in your energy, and a triple strike dual attack. So this guy could get gigantic while forcing your opponent to lose cards. It's a very good card, don't get me wrong. But you still have to pay 5 energy for this, if you are able to meet the permanents. Which, it's not the most difficult thing in the world, but still 20 red or green, that's still a lot. 5 energy is a lot too, especially considering how fast the game is. This card right here, as far as how broken it is, it entirely depends on when the next banned list that we get from Bandai is going to be. If Bandai decides to hit a lot of the faster cards in the game, then yeah, this card is an absolute godsend. But if they don't hit the cards that are like quick enough, because as of right now, a lot of games are decided by 3 or 4 energy. You do make it a 5 energy here and there, but it's not as often anymore. It's more often to end the games by 4 energy, sometimes 3 energy if you're playing the green BR Broly. So it really all depends on where the meta is going to shift when it comes to this card. That's just my personal opinion on it. So if the meta slows down a little bit, then yes, this card is absolutely busted. Like, broken, busted, one of the best things I've ever seen. But if the meta continues at its current pace, or if it speeds up even more to where games are being decided even quicker than they already are, then I'm not sure where this card will stand. I just feel like I need to give my 2 cents on this card, because as I said, this card already is like making the community go crazy right now. So that's just my personal opinion on it, guys. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about this card right here. And we have Son Goku Piccolo budding friendship, energy exhaust, and its whole skill is an alliance red-green. By switching red and green in rest mode, it's able to gain the power of the card that switched plus critical, and it gets to draw 2 cards. So not too much to say on it, but again, we also did go over this card in the spoiler list. And we've got a 4-drop right here, Gohan Goten Familial Bonds. This is the one that kind of works from that Goku we saw earlier. Some energy exhaust. So yes, I was right when I said earlier, so far all multis have energy exhaust. That seems like that's going to be the thing here. It's got Alliance Green Red. It gains power equal to the normal power card switched by Rest Mode by a skill and Triple Strike. And so that's really cool. In the autos, when you play this card, activate the skill for the duration of the turn. When your opponent uses a skill to play a battle card, your opponent chooses 2 cards from their life and places them in their drop area. So, this is definitely a nice card if you really want to screw over your opponent when it comes to Shugesh plays and all that. So, definitely a fun card right there. And so if not, next up we have Vegeta Saiyan Elites. This is going to be the one that you play off of that 6-drop Great Ape. Double Strike, Energy Exhaust. Auto is once per turn. When this card attacks, your opponent chooses 2 cards in their hands, sends it to the warp. So this definitely really helps out with the Rad strategy right there. So activate main is red and green, just like we saw with the 1-drop Raditz. If your leader card's a green Saiyan, deal 1 damage to your opponent. I like it. It's pretty costly with everything, but I like it. And next up here, and yeah, okay, one of the last cards here is going to be Broly Tragedy Foretold. It's a 6-drop, Arrival Red-Green. So what that means is that you combo with a red and green card in your combo area, then you pay the red-green, and you can just play this card right here without paying the 6. So essentially, this is a 2 cost, so that's very good. Its permanent is only one of this card can be played in your battle area, and you can't play this card from any area unless Dormant Legend is in your battle area, is in your drop area. So I guess that gives you a little more incentive to play that 3-drop Broly. I'll be honest, this is another one of those cards I didn't really fully remember what it did. His auto is when you play this card, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, ignore barrier, and negate -15 power for the duration of the turn. Cool. Auto is when your opponent combos, you may choose 1 card in your opponent's combo area, place it in your drop area. If you do, negate this skill for the duration of the turn. So it basically makes their first combo completely useless. So I like that. I like this card a lot. That just means you have to play that 3-drop, which gets rid of the whole Dormant Legend, which I like Dormant Legend a lot because it gives you that 4-drop that I really, really like. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see where this deck goes. And 6 here. Let me see how many more cards. Okay, so we have 2 more Broly cards here. Alright, so the first one's Rapid Barrage. So Rival, red, green. Again, just combo with a red and green. Pay 1 energy to bring him out. Permanent is you can only have 1 this here, and can't play it unless Dormant Legends in your drop area. Okay, so there's a lot of incentive to play the 3-drop green to play that Dormant Legend in the drop area. Oh well. 2 autos here again. When you play this card, choose up your opponent's battle cards against -10. When your opponent combos, you choose 1 card in your hand, place it in your drop area. If you do, choose up to 1 card in your opponent's combo area, place it in the drop areas. Okay, so it's basically a lesser version of the super rare we just saw. So, okay, pretty cool. And last up here, we have Broly Demonic Origins. I do like the art on this one a lot. It's got an energy exhaust. Permanent is that if there's a card that is both red and green in your energy area other than this card, negate this card's energy exhaust skill in all areas. So this one's very interesting because if on your first turn you put down a red green, you go to your next turn. If you have that card to put in your energy, you can just play it right then and there without having to do the energy exhaust. So that's pretty interesting. Though I do think it's still important to give all these cards energy exhaust. And not just give a card that doesn't have it and you can just play it immediately without some kind of stipulation first. Personally, I feel that'd be way too broken. So it's auto right here. So when you play this card, your opponent chooses 1 card from their hand and places it in their drop area. Okay, so I could definitely see this card being played in the Raditz deck for sure. It could definitely be in the Broly deck as well, but I see this more as a Raditz deck card right now. And with that, we have gone over all of the cards that have been currently revealed to us from Set 7, Assault to the Saiyans. Bit of a long video here, guys, but I felt it was definitely worth it. So, if you all enjoyed that video, be sure to leave a smash on that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, like and comment down below your opinions on everything you just saw here. And please, do tell your opinions on that 7-drop Goku card. Like, it's, as I said, I'm not exaggerating, it is exploding around the community right now. Debating like, oh, some people think, oh, it's not that good. Some people think it's the most broken thing they've ever seen. Some people are kind of in the middle. That's kind of where I am too. So let me guys know where you guys are on that. And with that, guys, I hope you have a fantastic day. See you guys next time, and you've all been released.